what you are seeing here is a movement called Christian nationalism that merges Christianity as it's been practiced in America for, centuries with a very specific interpretation of what the founding fathers wanted, what Aristotle wanted, going all the way back to the ancients. You saw Larry Arnn, who is the president of Hillsdale College and a proponent of this strain of interpretation of the Bible, merge Christianity and protecting the Western civilization values into one and the same thing. It's a very somewhat convoluted argument, but if you distill it into the right talking points, it really hits you in the patriotic heart area, as it were.
This house we don't get like. It's time to be on them. It's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby.
All right. Welcome once again to the Independent Black Voice. I'm your host, beatzillapdx official. And today we got a little something to talk about. Might be a sensitive subject for some, but we have to speak on the truth since he lied on us. And the truth of the matter is, Charlie Kirk was wrong. Do you see all of those black pilots? Those are studied, qualified pilots, not DEI hires, but people who actually are trained to do the job, to fly people to and fro, and to take the responsibility of people's lives in their hands as they fly to their respective locations. And somehow, this whole conversation has gotten rewrit. It's been rewrit, is what it's been. Rewritten, because what are we talking about here? Oh, we're talking about now Christian nationalism. Now, this is white supremacy. It's white nationalism. It's no different. And yeah, you put a couple token coons out there to go, yeah, this is Christianity and my faith. Yeah, miss me. No, this isn't a faith. This is tap dancing. And on top of that, real quick, the worship that you see at the church, do you know that came from years of them studying the black church? That you even see that now? So that was very interesting. What a show they put on, I'll say. But again, let me denounce political violence, because nobody's condoning that. But I'm also not going to condone rewriting someone's history, rewriting someone's lie, and turning lies into truth just because you like the person who told the lie. And we're not doing that here when it comes to our people, especially when it's us who are lied on. And to show you that this rhetoric is not just in a Charlie Kirk, but this is a societal problem. And there's a lot of projection that comes from supremacists. That's why when you got into this whole conversation, a lot of people started bringing up MLK, because there isn't moral legitimacy amongst their own. So you always have to find a legit black person to tie because of course they're American. All of a sudden they're American. Oh yeah, Martin Luther King, yeah. But this guy was literally against Martin Luther King. Said he was a bad guy. And there are people out here right now trying to rewrite that history.
It's that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we
Did you hear him? He said it was a problem when they passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. So he's confirming what he said. Where's the mistake? Oh, it's just a short clip. These are the words that he said, and he doubled down and confirmed he said it. Nobody's putting words in his mouth. Nobody's making him lie. I'm not lying on him for certain because this is what he just confirmed. That was his position. Now, let me touch on MLK and Charlie Kirk. MLK was an advocate for the people and wasn't exclusionary to any group and didn't push the ideals of one group on another group. What is that comparison when it comes to Charlie Kirk? May he rest well. Because it's not my place to say, well, he went to hell in this. I'm not going to do that. Don't wish ill. I don't speak ill of the dead. But what we will do is speak about the words that he spoke while he was alive. And these words that he spoke while he was alive, a lot of them people resonate with. And you have to understand that what you resonate with is a lie. And I'm sure a lot of you don't care because, again, it's against Black people. So the ultimate point is Christian nationalism, a.k.a. white supremacy, a.k.a. Satanism. That was the biggest satanic ritual I've seen in a long time. And what you saw was self-worship. They weren't worshiping God, not the Most High at all. And they exploited the word of the Lord. And I know that there will be people out here, man, no. And we'll get to the reasons why I say that. But let's let him flesh this one out. And I'm going to play this whole part uninterrupted because I don't want Charlie Kirk people to come here and think that, oh, I'm just clipping it up the way that I want it. No, this is what he said, and this is how he wanted it known.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk's self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we note in the piece, Kirk has previously described Kirk as a hero and a civil rights icon. It's true. I used to be wrong. What inspired Kirk to shift his view on MLK? Why does Kirk think that MLK is a bad guy? When Kirk says that MLK says, quote, one good thing he didn't believe, what does he mean by that? Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right? Once a week we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
Funny. Why would a roster of 4 white people with zero contact with actual Black America be talking about Black America? That's a lot of focus on race. And see, what a lot of things that Charlie Kirk would do is, hey, you guys are over fixated on race. Not as much as you, Charlie. Nowhere close. I'm just giving you his words. You have a panel of 4 white men worried about a dead Black man that's been dead for over, 50 years? And now after they trashed the man, you want to say, well, he should be recognized as a civil rights icon. Why do you think, oh, we can't get that one any legs? Well, let's do October 14th, since this guy subsequently has the same birthday as George Floyd. And he got a gold casket. That's another thing. We're going to do a piece on that because like I told y'all, family, this is going to be a mini series, basically. So this is just one of a few. So, and these videos will not be airing at the normal regular time. So make sure you set your notifications. If you got to be part of the replay gang, then you got to be part of the replay gang. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in. And, you know, even some of you naysayers that I'm sure are going to be in the comments of this one. But, you know, we're going to get to it. And again, Charlie Kirk was wrong and out of place, talking out of turn, as we say. What scholar or where did he do his? See, everybody else that gets out here has a profession. They went to a school. They had an education. They got a doctorate in this. They've wrote this book. They've actually had some accomplishments. This is a community college dropout who now in his later days, last days, while being 31, made his name debating college students, and then would want to get any random black person versus dealing with any learned scholar, historian, grassroots advocate. Nah. And the reason being is because, you know, he'd get washed, just like all of you out there. So really, and I don't even understand why y'all call that debating. That is just a roast, like dozens session, and it's posed off as something else. But no, because y'all ever realize that, like, even now, there's nobody that can explain what Charlie Kirk stood for? Because he never identified that. He only identified his talking points. And then when you hear him, when you go back and listen to him speak, he just does. And I noticed that a lot of people do that. This is what I'm used to out of the racist, dumb white supremacists that are in my area. Like, I grew up hearing stupid talk like this. And people eat it up. Oh, yeah, that's me. No, it's not. But when you're dealing with a lying culture, where does a lying culture most have to hide? Where's the best place? Under Christianity. These are the people who went to church. And then later after church, went and had a picnic with their children. But for some reason, we're supposed to believe that they some God-loving Bible thumpers? Are you kidding? No. The best place to hide Satan is under the guise of it being about Christ. Christian nationalism. What the hell does that even mean? How do you have a Christian nationalism when there is no nationality tied to Christ, and it most definitely ain't tied to America? How does that make sense? So what they're saying is Christianity is white supremacy. The craziest thing about that is they know that they're absolutely taking a black man as a shield. I wonder how many of these people are still running around here saying Jesus was white. No, that picture of Caesar Borgia, the super weirdo that you guys worship, he's more like you guys. And so it's so fitting that the person that you see and the person that these people actually idolize as Jesus, the funny thing is they have more in common. They will always have more in common than Caesar Borgia, with Caesar Borgia than with the Most High and his son. These are the children of someone else. You know. some people, oh, you say Revelations. Well, then the Bible's anti-Semitic, I guess. That what we're going to say now? We're going to start doing that? The Bible's anti-Semitic. Revelations 2 is anti-Semitic. Okay. So anyway, playing enough of that, I want to say that, see, it's bigger than Charlie Kirk because there's other people that want, especially, this is what's so funny about this. I need y'all to understand, these people don't have no love for no Charlie Kirk. That's why I'm doing this broadcast the way I am. I don't want y'all to think that these people love Charlie Kirk. They don't. They love the power and the control of systematic supremacy. And that's what he was an avatar for. So that is looked at a chink in the armor. But then even more so, it's all in-house. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else but them. So this ain't about nothing but saving face. See, this is when the lie actually got exposed. What did they do in front of the world? Oh, Jesus, Jesus, oh, we love you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. They say the biggest trick the devil ever did was be the American white man. Because in him, he can convince you that the devil don't even exist. You got these people out here really trying to sell it. And for those of y'all, Charlie Kirk wasn't racist, stop it. All the talking points y'all still have are racist. And again, he's not debating scholars. He's not even debating grown men. Y'all ever once think about that? Oh, but wait, there was a time when he had to run into a grown man. Let's see how that worked out.
About DEI, unqualified black pilots. You see a pilot on a black pilot. Don't you think it was an irresponsible statement suggesting that maybe these pilots aren't qualified or unqualified?
No. But I'll tell you exactly what I said and why I said it.
Okay, go ahead.
I said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. I said, United Airlines is saying that they want 40% of all their pilots to be people of color or women. We have learned that we have relaxed standards anytime that.
Whoa. And that right there, see, that lie, that's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. There are no such thing as relaxed standards. The relaxed standards are something that happened in this state. Because, see, all of those same areas that were having all of these candlelight vigils for Charlie Kirk, they were having problems with the schooling. So they had to relax the requirements for these students in these rural areas, not the city where everybody knows black people are. Nope, no, not at all. The rural areas needed to have their stuff. Because, see, there's only one black Mecca in the state of Oregon, and that is in Portland. All the rest of the state is basically cherry red. And so all of them people needed relaxed standards. But you know how they spun it in the news is that, oh, which should had nothing to do with Portland. Nothing to do with Portland or Gresham or Beaverton. No. Wasn't these metropolitan area school districts? Wrong. So, see, this is what I'm saying. These people get into the habit of repeating the same lies so much so that they become reprobate. And see, reprobate, another way of putting a reprobate is a person that knows what wrong is and does it so much to where they believe the wrong is right. And this is reprobate behavior. You're bold-faced lying. And that's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. And I wouldn't have to see anybody that is of these groups. We are well within our rights to to critique this and push back on this notion. Again, not speaking ill of the dead, but we will absolutely shoot down these words. No pun intended.
We try to reach racial quotas. Anytime we reach racial quotas, we relax the standards. Standards for air traffic control, professors, or college admissions. Therefore, when it comes...
That's not true. And let me also reiterate the point to every position to which he speaks of or jobs he ain't qualified for. I just want to put that in perspective. Because, he's so smart. But he's not smarter than anybody he's talking about. But let's hear more.
To pilots or surgeons, if I see somebody who is black, as I said on the show, I'm going to hope that be person is qualified. That's what I said, which of course is...
Well, then that means you have interracial bias. And that part right there, I said, I hope. That's interracial bias. That's what that is. Let me hear some more.
Legitimate, because they're begging the question, we're not hiring based on merit anymore. We're hiring based on race.
That is not what that is. That is stopping discriminating based on race. You're not laxing standards, but you're opening opportunity on the equal level. Equal level means that a person has to meet the standard of the job and have an equal opportunity to get that. That's not a lax standard. And there's zero proof that this man has ever offered up of those lax standards. This is the white man saying words. I'm white and I say so. But it ain't true. He's wrong. And all of you that say, no, he's absolutely incorrect. That's why he can't cite anything. He's just talking. He's not substantiating or verifying anything he's saying.
We've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off. And I feel bad.
I've never thought that when I got into a plane. And there's going to be a lot of times when you're getting on the plane and you don't even see the pilot. So this whole notion is foolish anyway. But it's just, inner black, anti-black bias, because why are you thinking about race? See, again, that's a him thing. He's fixated on a race, which is telling you there's some false sense of superiority that he has to say somebody that actually is better than me that's flying this plane is somehow inferior. That takes some kind of mental gymnastics, but that's the religion of white supremacy. What they're calling Christian nationalism right now. And you get a lot of these. Watch all the church, all the black church channels. They don't know what the hell to do with themselves right now. I guess they got to make their bed and lie to them. Well, we don't focus on race, and all these other people are trying to talk victimhood and this and that. Hey, answer to this. Why you keep talking about black people? He don't know nobody. You ain't seen him around nobody black. You ain't seen him with a positive relationship with somebody black. Only black people you see him talking to is misfits that have no connection to our community in the first place. They hate themselves and so thought they were going to go get a bag over there. They have nothing to do with the real. And we know who the real people are because, see, he goes over there and all of these people sit amongst themselves and they talk amongst themselves. They're not interacting with anyone. But this is incel behavior. Now, why you think that caters to all these people? Yeah, you guys aren't Christians. You're weirdos. And you're hiding your racism behind Christianity. You're no different than the people you actually say, well, man, those people are evil. No, you're one and the same. They just big brother, you little brother. That's all.
Better now.
So when you see a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? That's what DEI does. It makes you ask questions you otherwise would not ask.
Okay, so let me ask this question. I'm expecting Delta, United, American Airlines to take the liability risk of putting somebody unqualified in their cockpits. While we had a white boy out here in, on Alaska taking mushrooms, trying to open a door in midair. Nobody asked him if he was qualified to be high as hell. And then you talk about some of these other pilots and some of the man, if you don't get them out of here. I say that. No, you only say that because you're a damn racist. And anybody saying, oh, well, that's what, why are you thinking that? What are you so fixated on race for that is what comes to your mind? Because seeing a black person in a job doesn't say they're not qualified to be in that job. So what is the problem with you? Well, say because you just heard what he said. When I see a black person, well, then what the hell is wrong with you? Aren't you the person that's saying there's no race and race is a construct? Well, then where is the social construct when it came down to you walking on a plane, seeing a black pilot? I mean, these are all his words. I'm just saying, am I getting something confused? Let me know. Anyway, let's hear more.
So the airline industry is going to take an unqualified person just based off diversity.
Underqualified, not
underqualified.
Unqualified,
underqualified, whatever, uncertified, and put them in a cockpit and risk people's lives?
Those are two different things. Under and un are two different things. Of course, United Airlines will not take someone off the side of the street and put them into a pilot. But in order to reach a 40% goal, they might cut corners. They might accelerate the process in order to reach a goal. We know this through.
You don't. And see, this is the thing. They might do this. They might do this. And we know this is true because there's no factual data to back up anything he's saying. And you guys, and see, I hope you guys understand me very well. This ain't about Charlie Kirk. This is about you. He gone. Y'all out here trying to say that this ain't what it is. It is. And what he's describing to you is the nature of an anti-black bigot. And the problem that probably most of you are having is that you feel the same way he does. Talk to me.
All sorts of DEI examinations and projects over the last 10 years.
Right. DEI is very, very relatively new, which primarily benefits white women. So not sure what he's saying. Also, the affirmative action and civil rights piece. Hey, white women, all you white women fans of Charlie Kirk, you do understand that does two things. It takes away your right to vote and your right to choose. But hey, you guys, enjoy your Charlie Kirk Day. It's coming up next month. The first official Charlie Kirk Memorial Day. Hey, remember, women, this is a day you can celebrate the fact that he didn't want you to vote. Am I missing something? Because with that big brain that was going on with all of these thoughts that kept repeating the same talking points, no one stopped to think and say, hey, if you repealed affirmative action, how does that affect women? Or maybe he didn't care. So in that regard, then the misogyny part might be a little valid. Saying, but we're just bringing this out. I'm just, hey, man, this is about the followers. And y'all, but see, these are the things you can't keep presenting things to us, and we gonna respond. And you can't keep lying. So here's a dispelling broadcast just to give it to you raw and uncut. That's a clip. This ain't. So let's hear how lies spread. Actually, let me hear some more of him trying to debate this other guy. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk this lie down too.
United Airlines.
I ain't get the finish. Go ahead.
If you were to board a flight with United Airlines, would you rather have a pilot that is qualified or one that is diverse?
First off, one that is qualified or one that is diverse. That's not a question of an intelligent man. That is a question of a con man or a bullshit artist. This is bullshit artistry. Because a qualified person can also be, what you say, diverse. So why is diverse being regarded as less than qualified here? See how he set that question up? But you also see what that question reveals. It reveals white means quality. Now you'll say, well, he didn't say anything about race. Well, then what does diverse denote? So by default, what is qualified? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We can keep going, though, and we will.
Answer the question.
Wait, that makes no sense. Why is there two different things?
It
How
definitely
is it
doesn't make any sense.
When you go to American Airlines,
Because in the pursuit of diversity, you sacrifice excellence every time. We know.
Whoa. In the pursuit of diversity, you sacrifice excellence. Well, if that was true, then why isn't the list of white inventions in America the same size as black inventions? Why isn't it DC is designed by a white person? Washington Monuments and Capitol Hill, not made by white people. Where are those accomplishments? Everybody uses, a lot of people use peanut butter. I got stoplights, cell phones. Wafers for chips. These are everyday products, inventions, creations, cuisine, music, art, literature. But somehow being diverse doesn't make you qualified. Okay.
We know this with Harvard.
Right.
We know this with Yale.
So
we know this with the military.
Right.
Every time,
Right.
every example that we pursue diversity, an institution becomes less excellent.
So
it becomes subpar.
When you go,
What example is that? Colin Powell was a downgrade? He's a Republican, but whatever. Okay. I guess we're overlooking that guy, huh?
go on a plane, do you go to the pilot and ask for your credentials, or do you believe that the airline did the right thing and hired the right? So you ask
No,
for
I
their
don't.
credentials.
Actually,
you don't.
I'm starting
you don't.
to.
So
well, hold on. I
for
start
some
to doubt
reason,
it.
we
That
can
was
have
my
both
statement.
diversity and
That
merit
was my
things.
statement.
Right.
My statement was when you're going to if you're going to go from 4% of the pilots being black to 50% of the pilots to be black, it begs the question: you are going to lower the standards.
How? How does that beg the question that you're going to lower the standards? How? And so if anybody in the chat or anybody in the comments, you want to chime in on how you can answer that, please go ahead. I'd love to hear it. This is shameful. And this is shameful lying, man. And I really didn't want to have to do this, but y'all going to stay out of my comments. Charlie Kirk was right about everything. No, Charlie Kirk was wrong about everything. And not one of these things has he came with a substantiated fact. And this is your God? Y'all think y'all could wash y'all sins away with the blood of this dude? Nah, man. Nah. You're still the devil. Because, that's what supremacy is steeped in. And you guys went out there and worshiped yourself on Sunday. Pat yourself on the back. You did a great big spectacle and big ritual and honoring the blood sacrifice to supremacy. Think I'm lying? I mean, shoot, everybody's trying to cash in.
Qualified or not?
That's not what I said.
Are they qualified or not?
What I said was
is a pilot sitting in a hold on, Hogan, is a pilot sitting on an airplane, flying a plane, whether he's black or white or a woman or gay or lesbian, if they are sitting in that seat and they meet the FAA requirements for being in that seat, are they qualified?
If they are qualified, I sure hope so.
But you don't believe that they're qualified
because of what?
That's not what I said.
What I said was if the criteria was their race or gender,
then
how am I to know
that's
that the
why I'm telling you,
qualification is
Hogan,
there?
that is.
It's like saying we have fresh beef for our burgers every day. The restaurant says we got fresh, never frozen. You can't offer your consumer turkey meat because you just said it was a beef burger, fresh beef. Meaning you already identified what quantifies that particular item. In this particular case, it's a pilot. How on earth would you relax you have a multi-million-dollar 20,000-ton air vehicle taking all of these souls to and fro that all have families on the ground that most definitely will be suing if you put somebody unqualified in the pilot seat. Not to mention, have y'all literally seen the cockpit of a plane? These guys are comical to be even talking this madness. And you have to have so many flight hours to even become a pilot. So it's really amazing that this is such a conversation. But this speaks to the societal systemic problem of anti-blackness. Because why aren't they focused or fixated on Indians or Chinese or that? No, black. When I see a black person doing it, something must be wrong. And that, again, brings me right back around for why reparations are owed. This leopard never changed its spots, and it's showing you that very truth. I hope Black Democrats can understand. You watch these Black Democrats just co-sign this level of rhetoric against Black people. And they're still trying to further it. Charlie Kirk is gone now. Here is another white man telling you that when I see a Black man in the plane, I'd be wondering if he all right. What? It takes so many flight hours, and most of these people are actually service people. They're armed forces. But no respect for them. Same thing today as yesterday. Black GIs got no respect. Today, airmen get no respect from the likes of these people who are nowhere near as skilled and as accomplished as these pilots. Charlie, we're talking pilots and flight hours and being dedicated to something. Charlie Kirk never, ever, ever had anything close to that. There's nobody even on the, I just want to put that in perspective. You guys are gassing yourselves up. He is not smarter than any other person you see on this screen. And that's proven. That's proven. All of them more accomplished than him. And he went out to go debate kids. He was debating children when he got it. Well, let me call them young adults, not children. But come on, man.
We had a president of the United States. We had a president of the United States,
Hogan, I don't want you to
came out and said,
Hogan, you're
he
cheating.
Overtalk with a lie.
To be the vice president. So when I noticed that's what he said, that's not my fault. Joe Biden said it.
You were in the White House when Donald Trump said he was going to put a woman on the Supreme Court, and then he picked Amy Coney Barrett. Is she not qualified?
She is extremely qualified.
Okay, so why?
You see and this is where that hypocrisy shows. Abby Phillips is not equipped for this conversation, but that's why these people do these things with her and people that aren't fit for this conversation. You don't see these guys trying us. There's nothing you see. They're not coming to no grassroots, nowhere, no way, no how. Nah. So they got to go out there and scream in the wind and then be like, yeah, this is rhetoric. No, it's not. So I just wanted to give you that. Let me hear a little more.
Is she qualified? But Ketanji Brown Jackson is not.
He talked about the qualification as well. What I'm saying is, in that clear directive from Joe Biden, in the clear directive from those companies, they are saying we are filling.
Let me also reiterate. Think of what you will about Kamala Harris. She's still more accomplished than Charlie Kirk. Think of what you will about Ketanji Brown Jackson. She still more accomplished than Charlie Kirk. Just putting things in perspective for you. Why were you calling that guy sharp? Because you hear how this talking point is just crumbling. And this is Abby Phillips. This is no heavyweight. She's just an adult. So passing this off on a person over 30 just doesn't work. But I understand because you're working with them college kids with all them ideas being thrown at them at once. This is when you have to sit down and talk to a person that's lived life. This is a different interaction now, ain't it? And he's having trouble getting past Abby Phillips with this rhetoric. He's turning into a woman trying to overtalk her.
Let me ask. I'm going to ask you again because I think you have another opportunity to really think this through. Donald Trump said, "I am going to pick a woman to go on the Supreme Court." Oh, you know what? Let me give you another one.
So should he not have
George H.W. Bush said, "I am going to pick a black man to fill a role on the Supreme Court. Are those people unqualified?
I want always the most qualified people to hold those jobs.
Are they qualified or not?
It depends on their qualification.
It wasn't a quota or not?
It's always a quota when you base it on race or gender. If you base it on
See, this is what Charlie Kirk would do at that point. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. No. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer the question. And just badge you down. But see what he did there? He sidestepped that very clear-cut question. Very simple question. Are they qualified? That answer is yes or no. But now what a liar will do right now is go on a liar's run. And so now as a liar starts to run, they start merely mouthing about this or that. Like the question wasn't very simple. So just make your position clear. Were they qualified or not? Today, yesterday, I don't know, up and down, I mean, where, here, everywhere, nowhere.
Qualification, if the person is hired as black or a woman or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's
Let me just ask you a direct question.
It's the ultimate meritocracy.
Is it okay for Donald Trump to have DEI quotas or not?
It's not okay for anyone to have DEI quotas.
So then why did he have a DEI quota, by your definition, for Amy Coney Barrett?
He didn't. He said that was one of the selections. People said he should fill it with a woman.
Okay. He said...
Wait. Well, then what's the difference? You got walked down by Abby Phillips, dude. This is the Charlie Kirk rhetoric. This is how far you could take it. Nowhere. Because bullshit runs a marathon. And you just keep running and running and running. Run, brother, run. Run, white brother, run. My goodness. Here a little more. I'm not playing all of this, but dude, you're getting cooked by Abby Phillips. I don't know how much more you got in the tank after this, man.
He was going to fill it with a woman, and he did.
He did not only interview women for the job.
Correct.
Okay.
So
I'm sure Joe Biden didn't interview men for
he needed help.
Black women for the job.
Joe Biden had said as he went in his search process, his short list would be all women of color.
And they were.
Listen.
And they were qualified.
That's not true.
They were qualified.
We're taking issue with the criteria.
Brad, I just think you guys are misleading. I'm not going to.
That ain't misleading, that's lying. Now you're being generous, Abby, and I know you have to be diplomatic. But no, those guys were just flat out bald-faced lying. And the line got so bad that the other dude had to jump in and intervene. This is what happens when the rhetoric really meets adults. And then you won't own your position. See that? Everybody, oh yeah, what he stood for. Yeah. Where all that standing right now with these guys? Looks like a bunch of running to me. Nah, flesh your point out. And then you answer the question, answer the question, answer the question. Saying.
I'm not going to say you're lying. I'm just going to say you're misleading about what Donald
Trump
said. The day after, Justice Ginsburg died, he said he was going to pick a woman to replace her. He said that, okay? I'm not paraphrasing. That is what he said.
By that standard, he should not have issued that as a criteria.
All right. One more thing. Justice Thomas, who I'm sure you love. You love him, right?
Sure.
He was chosen to replace a black Supreme Court justice in part because he was a black man. Who is more qualified in terms of actual experience to be on the court, him or Ketanji Brown Jackson? Do you know?
I don't know if any of them.
Okay. Well, I've checked. She served as a federal judge for way longer. He actually didn't before she was.
I'm telling y'all. And this is why, see, y'all can play that game all you want. But this is what happens when the rhetoric, you're not even running into an activist. This is a journalist, and this guy is getting smoked by Abby Phillips. She running circles around these cats, man. Jim Clyburn just sitting up there like, okay, she got it. She is smoking these dudes. I mean, man, applause to Abby Phillips because, you know, I got to say, the way she got into him today, this is kind of impressive. And this is actually pleasant to watch. So salute to Abby Phillips. Yeah, she's getting in my man right here.
Put on the Supreme Court.
No, false. He was on the D.C. Court of Appeals, the second highest court in the land.
She served, yes.
By the bar association. He
was on there for a very brief period of time. She was served as a judge.
We have never considered any nominee for Supreme Court who was on the D.C. Court of Appeals to be unqualified for the Supreme Court.
I am not
never
suggesting.
Never, ever.
She's the host, man. Why are you over talking her? Are you seeing how they are shook because they're running out there to flat to we're gonna push these points and we're gonna be the points are dying a quick death. And these are adult men, learned men trying to make that rhetoric make sense, and they can't. Because, see, they have to bring facts and truth with what they're saying. The other dude thought he was just going to run off them that normal Charlie Kirk rant of lies, and that fell flat because there's too much time on this panel, and he got stuck. And so now this dude jumped in the latrine with him, and they both drowning, and they up to their necks in MAGA crap.
I am not suggesting.
You're saying Clarence Thomas was not qualified?
I'm not. Actually, no, I am not.
You just said he was not
that he's unqualified at all.
You did.
No, she didn't. She asked you who was more qualified, meaning both being qualified. See, so now he's so much on the run, he's just flat out lying on Abby now. You just said that he wasn't qualified. No, she didn't. And we all heard her question that they didn't answer, by the way. But now you could go persecute her for what she said. Get out of here. Man, I hope y'all are seeing. I just wanted to walk it down for you because I know a lot of people probably won't. But, man, come on, man. These people are – this is no homage to Charlie Kirk. They all trying to get their careers popping.
I am saying that he is qualified just the way that Ketanji Brown Jackson is qualified, just the way that Amy Coney Barrett is qualified.
No, you said he was less qualified.
No. I'm asking.
No, she didn't.
Comparing their resumes. If you want to compare their resumes,
he was less qualified.
One of the things that Charlie Kirk said.
And see how he keeps repeating the lie? He just keeps doing it. That's what you said. She did not. That's what you said. She didn't. And so what he's continuously doing is trying to reaffirm a lie, and it's not landing. He's like, why isn't the magic working?
Was that was that Ketanji Brown Jackson? You know, if she says that she was affirmative action pick, then what she is saying is that she didn't have the brain processing power to get that job without.
That's exactly what he meant.
A white man.
Look,
But I'm asking you, if you objectively look at her resume, is that a factual statement?
Oh, she's qualified for the Supreme Court.
Okay, so then let's leave it at that. Because I just
think
that...
She's not very good at her job, but she's qualified.
Okay, let's leave...
Okay, and I'll leave it there. And so, of course, she's qualified. And the point of the matter is, what you were talking about was Charlie Kirk's rhetoric of saying people aren't qualified. And so you did all of that lying to get right back to having to admit, yes, she's qualified. And by the way, more accomplished than the person talking about her intelligence. And I'm no Ketanji Brown Jackson fan, nor Kamala Harris, or Jasmine Crockett. But all of them are still more accomplished than that guy. To be with debating college kids, man. The great debaters. Stop. Imagine if a professor at a college always entered competition with the students. And you're going to turn around and be like, yeah, I'll kiss the ring, baby. Come on, man. Y'all that desperate for wins? That's insane. But I guess so, because the rhetoric is terrible. But I had to consider, and this is something, I'm going to end with this video because this is going to be a doozy. The truth about post-traumatic slave syndrome, or response, shall we say. Shout out to Dr. Joy DeGruy. Also, just thinking about that. It's not just Black folks that are dealing with the after effects of that. It's also the enslavers, the people who participated who might have been of the poorer side of the game. All of these people have to deal with the fact that you watched Black people excel. Why do you think they want to get rid of slavery so bad? Because one thing about all of these reminders about slavery is, what did I just say about the women I just mentioned? They're still more accomplished than the person who was berating them. And so you have to watch Black excellence excel and still become the culture of the planet. The most copied, the most packaged, the most sold, and the most viewed. This is what real influence looks like. We have real, true moral icons that to this day, y'all have still been trying to besmirch. And then your history and your present is one of, just the 300 years of what, 310 plus years of chattel slavery. And less than 200 years later, you feel that you don't owe the descendants anything. What manner of people is that? I say that is not the children of the Most High. Those are not believers in his Son. But those are the people of the synagogue of Satan. So much so that they will reverse their history and project their truth about themselves onto us. Listen to these devils right here.
Somebody was coming into our church and they're Black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call Black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark Black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on.
How would you identify Black culture in general as a what? So basically what you're saying is, as we know the stereotype, no, you couldn't join our church being all Black and stuff. You need to act like these conservative Black Christians out here. The ones like caping for Charlie Kirk and all. That's how you need to act.
Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They
says the people who had other people in slavery for 300 plus years. And then after that, got jealous of their prospering and went and burned down their towns. You drawn up the KKK, put sheets on, got black folks out of prominent positions, and then wanted to keep them from voting, fed babies to alligators. 10 million plus people dying in the Black Holocaust here in America and the transatlantic at that. But we somehow are the murderers. We didn't go across the globe murdering in the name of Christianity. No. But see, that's the lie. And I don't know how many of y'all are willing to really call that lie a lie. But this right here is his own history. So let him, because he doesn't have this experience with black culture, he only has this experience with his culture. So what he's doing right now is projecting what he knows of himself and his people and talking about people he doesn't know. But the only thing he can really talk about is his experience. And so this is his experience of himself and his people, not a black America. He doesn't got that. Clearly. Look at his haircut. Like Richard Spencer's little cousin.
Steal, they kill, they destroy. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any.
Did you hear that? Did you really say that, dude? Oh, I don't even have to start. Oh my goodness, the lion. And this is how hurt these people are. When they have to look at themselves and then you have to try to draw up something good. And so all you can do is project yourself onto someone else. Everything he's saying is within his community. These are things that can't even, like that last one. Everybody knows the numbers on that. And fatherlessness, the CDC already came out with that. So you're still repeating old tropes that have already been proven to be false. But yeah, let's keep riding with it.
A criminal statistic that you could look at almost pretty much without exception. They excel at them.
Yet and still white people fill up the prisons. All right.
Black culture.
And it's even interesting. I mentioned it before, but like the black guy on TikTok, he was saying, he's like, y'all crazy. Like you talking about this person like it's mental health. He said, that ain't no mental health. That's a demon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are seeing that. Like this behavior is demonic. To walk up to a white girl,
but yeah,
and to cut her throat because she's white, and be like, yeah, we got that white girl.
We got that white girl. And when you think about it, you look at that culture and you say, what are the besetting sins and character?
Didn't you just say it was a demon? It's mental illness, or is it a demon? The one thing that's not is black culture. Because black culture is not demonic, or is that what you're saying? The people who taught white people how to put their hands up in church. The whole thing that you see of worship in the white church right now comes from the black church. But that somehow, man, and this is why I call this guy a devil. Deceiving deceiver.
Characteristics of it. And then you say, could somebody come in a lawful church membership embodying that culture? No, they have to self-consciously repudiate that culture.
Man, if you don't get your punk ass out of here, repudiate your own culture. See, that's again the inherent, well, it must be, it's white, so it's right. That's white supremacy. That's not Christianity. The hell out of here. So if you guys missed the video from the beginning, I'm gonna play it again just to give you a little reminder.
What you are seeing here is a movement called Christian nationalism that merges Christianity as it's been practiced in America for, centuries with a very specific interpretation of what the founding fathers wanted, what Aristotle wanted, going all the way back to the ancients. You saw Larry Arnn, who is the president of Hillsdale College and a proponent of this strain of interpretation of the Bible, merge Christianity and protecting the Western civilization values into one and the same thing. It's a very somewhat convoluted argument, but if you distill it into the right talking points, it really hits you in the patriotic heart area, as it were.
Wow. Okay, so wait, there's one more. I think this is what I want to play. I got one more. Yeah, let's get to this. And so you guys, can leave on a certain note. Let's go back to this.
A black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I mean that is correct. Yeah,
that's correct. Okay, so can we both agree?
What was the context of what I said, though?
What was the context? I don't even want to get into DEI because your opinion on DEI, it doesn't really help it in this case. So, if the context between what you brought up was that you believe that
because they were being hired because they were black.
Okay, so can we both agree that every single pilot, whether black, white, whoever, has to go through FAA certification?
No, actually,
we can't.
New lawsuit shows that black pilots and female pilots have the standards being relaxed.
No, sir. Can we agree at the time?
That's not true. But go ahead and tell that lie.
February 29th or 2023, when you said it at the time. No?
No. Actually, I said it. That's why you don't know the context. Is that new lawsuits were showing that they were relaxing the standards for air traffic control and pilots in order to meet the standards.
The context of that was diversity, equity, and inclusion. What does that have to do with hiring?
Everything. DEI definitionally is that we will hire more of a race versus a different race. So, for example, United Airlines said that they want 50% of their new pilots to either...
That's not how DEI works. There is very little of the race component. That's a lot about your women. He's talking for us. It's brutal on the brain to hear. These lies are just so bad. Y'all been out here running with this bullshit like this is making sense to you? God damn, y'all dumb.
Be women or black.
Okay.
Currently, just so you understand, it's like 8%. So they want to go from 8% to 50%.
Okay.
And every time DEI is implemented, every single time, the lowering of standards occurs. Every single time.
Lowering of standards.
Every time somebody, yeah, and this is happening because we got a 50-year track record of DEI. What is he talking about? Again, this is your guy. His words are gold. What the fuck is he talking about? Some program that's been around for less than 5 years, and he's talking about it like it's been around for 50. The hell is wrong, man? What's wrong with y'all?
Standards?
Correct. So can I prove it to you? We both want excellence, right?
Okay.
If you and I said, hey, we want 50% of the new people going in the NBA are white.
Okay.
Would the NBA drop in its standard?
No.
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 And this is a horrible point he's making, but okay, the NBA has a certain criteria and standard for what they're looking for. It's not inherently, I guess, for all intents and purposes, you see black people excel. But if there were white people excelling at that athletic level, then yes, there's not. How would play diminish? You got a bunch of league of Larry Birds? So was Larry Bird not that good? Do we need to have the Eminem question in? I'm just saying.
The National Basketball
League?
League,
No, if we said 50%, if we say 50%
of the NBA dropped and it was only white.
No, I said
saying with the standard go down.
I'm not hearing what I'm saying. if 50% of all new people going in the NBA were white, by decree, would the quality of play of the NBA decrease?
Would the quality of play in the NBA decrease?
Yeah.
No, if they're the same standard of basketball play.
Hold on, let's talk realistic.
Well, what are you saying realistically? You're asking me if
75% of the NBA is black.
Oh my God. Okay. Y'all see how much he was fixated on race, and y'all be, oh, you think so much. He can't think out. He could not think outside of the confines of the structure of his racism. That's not a person equipped to debate anybody because you can't hear anything. But that also means your points are invalid because you haven't fleshed those out. But as long as you got rich billionaires backing it and just funding it and throwing money at it, then everybody starts validating it because, well, hell, shit, he's making all this money. It must be legit. It's not. This is the Wizard of Oz. Fool's gold. These are not talking points. These are just words.
75%.
And he just got cooked. So I just wanted to show y'all, Charlie Kirk was wrong. And the philosophy that he was pushing is wrong. It's anti-black. There's no reason to be focused on black people when you're not around black folks. He was in Utah. Got nothing to do with us. So, but here you guys are going messing with people at HBCUs. Go figure. And this is the nature of the Charlie Kirk Christian. The damn devil. Let me go threaten other people because I'm against political violence. So we're going to blow up your school. Out of here. So for those of you who are going to come in my comments and whine, at least flesh out a point. But we about to get up out of here. And I know there's going to be a lot of people upset, but you know what? At the end of the day, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Family, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. You know, while you are here, hit that like button. If you are hate watching, hit that like button. And, you know, I'm sure to be, I will report this video. Report it for what? Because nothing but the truth came out here. That's what we do here. And yeah, DNC talking, well, no, independent black communal talking points, because there's no DNC that was insulted. That was Black America. So that's where the conversation is. You insulted us. I don't know about no damn party. But you may be too brain dead or drink too much lead paint to understand or comprehend what the hell I just said. But if you still think that talking to black people means you talking to a Democrat, when we tell you that we're not representing the Democrats, we're representing the black agenda. You can't get that through your thick skull, Cletus. Well, I speak for myself. BeatZilla, PDX official. I speak for the independent black voice. Those of you in the chat, the black grassroots and the voices of new black media. I am certain I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to all of you Cletuses around the globe.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Here's the Lord. Remember, that's how it all started, family. Woo! Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp. That is CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And then, of course, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And so, I know people gonna be upset in this one, but it's can't refute it. And of course, we understand why they're haters.
It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed, family. Yes, indeed. And you know something real quick that comes to mind. I think something that be running through these people's minds when they see that other people or other groups are getting attention. They start looking in the mirror and, wait a minute. What about us? You can't leave us out because without us,
no medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine, there'd be no mayonnaise. No medicine.
Family, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed one.